Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome once more to Retro Spectrum on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook. Thanks for your continued support. It's been great to see everybody joining in and the community growing over the last week. And now, as promised, we have a review of the second, or possibly the second and third titles of a franchise that I think should have went on for much longer on the ZX Spectrum. I am talking, of course, about the Caped Crusader himself, the masked vigilante that is Batman. So what we have here is, well, let's see. Before this, there was Batman, which most people kind of now refer to as Batman 3D because it was in the isometric grid. It was just after Sweevil's World and Head Over Heels. So it was using that same idea of adventure through square landscapes, picking up objects, using them, and solving the plot. After this, you have Batman the Movie, which was a multi-load tie-in which saw you climbing through the chemical plants and driving along in the Batmobile that doesn't look like it should be a Batmobile. And the thing with combining the medicines and cosmetic products together that followed the plot of the film with Michael Keaton. In between that, you have this. From Special Effects, a name that you will recognize from some previous reviews, notably Cabal. This is Batman the Caped Crusader. And it's the second and it's the third, because the important thing to realize here is on the cassette, you had on side A, you had one adventure called A Bird in the Hand, which starred the Penguin. And on the other side, on side B of the Cape, you had a second adventure with the Joker and a fate worse than death. That's why you can see in both the Spectrum screen string and the cassette artwork, you have both of the key villains of Batman, the Joker and Penguin. No Riddler yet, no Catwoman. Part of me really thinks that what they've set up here in this game is a wonderful game engine that could have been used countless times, and why didn't we get a sequel with Catwoman? Why didn't we get something with the Riddler? Why didn't they just carry on making these in the way that they made something like Dizzy and improving it every single time? A question I would love to ask the writing and the coders team behind this actual title. Let me just have a look at this. Now, the Batman 3D isometric one came from John Rittman, Bernie Drummond, Mark Serlin, and F. David Thorpe. I think was doing the graphics. Jonathan M. Smith, Charles Davies, Karen Davies, and Keith Tinman are behind this one here. That's the special FX team. So there's no crossover between the two titles. But anyway, let's just dive into Batman, the Caped Crusader. And we're going to be looking at the adventure on side 1, which is A Bird in the Hand. Now, it's easier than the second one. It's almost like there's 2 skill levels in terms of the gameplay. And the first adventure is far easier than the second one. It's so easy, in fact, that I still haven't finished it. By my feel, I've got through sort of the Batcave, Gotham City, and the warehouse. There's still Penguin's Mansion to go through as well. Handily, though, you get a percentage score indicator to let you know how much you have completed of the game as you're playing it through. Yep, there we are. We're going in the background. So, let us bring up the menus. There we go. And we're fully loaded. Batman, A Bird in the Hand. So, it's an adventure game, but it's not a text adventure game. So you're using your movement controls in the game and a bit of inventory control as well. It's got quite an advanced inventory, and we will go with Kempston, which means, of course, is PlayStation 4. But you have the option to do new keys. Right. So here you are. You can straight away see that we're going for a comic book look. So we literally have a panel of the comic, the little text at the top, and we have our Batman who can walk left and right. He can face into the screen, face towards you. He can do flying kicks. He can do low kicks, and he can throw some punches. He can also, when we find it, climb ladders and ropes and go down ladders as well. Now, the other control that you don't have is, so the movement is just left, right, up, down on its own. The fighting controls are hold down the fire key and do what you need to do. Fire and down, though, is the unique one. That opens up the inventory and control system. You see we've got a percentage indicator that tells us how far into the adventure we've done. We've got strength, energy, damage, and a timer because we are against the clock in this game as well. But I do want to show you these two options here, the ink and the paper. First one, let's just go for, we'll look at the ink first. So remember that we can switch the whole thing into monochrome. It's not quite monochrome. Some areas have a bright attribute and some of them don't. And that makes it quite clear. You see that Batman will pick up the color that is behind him. You see the attribute there shining, the white, bright and white shining through. If we switch back to color, which I will stay on for the review, it's just a little bit clearer there. You can see the yellow and the blue. So previously we talked about how do you deal with color clashes. What do you give priority to? Do you give priority to the background graphics or to the foreground character? In the sense of Batman the Caped Crusader, we are giving priority to the background graphics. Now the paper icon allows us to, so if we have it in blue for example, that allows you to set the color of the paper that you're on in the background as well. I think we're going to pop that over to yellow for this game. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm going to keep that on blue actually. There we go. RAP allows you to auto death. That brings you back into the game. That allows you to save and load where your status are. That's a drop things, and that's a use things. So we'll get to them in a second. So here we are. So here's the other innovation. It is a flip screen adventure, but each screen is a slightly different size. So it gets overlaid onto the previous screen. And they appear as comic panels. It's a very subtle thing, because you could still do these as normal screens, but no. Okay, insert the disc, and there's a disc on the floor. So to do that, we do the inventory, but pick up is just, we're over something, we can use fire and down. Insert the disc. Okay, so if I go to the inventory menu, can I use that? The games people play. Cryptic hint for later. So over here we had a nose. I know it's a nose because I've picked it up previously, and it makes you invisible for a little bit, but I've no idea what it's for yet. So we'll just leave the nose there. Game itself, map is actually in layers. So we have a door here, which brings you a layer to the front, and then you have a cave, which gives you a layer to the back. You also work vertically as well. You'll see that when we get out into Gotham. So this is a three-dimensional map. So you have the layers going into and out of the screen. You have a going across the screen as normal, and you will find that you'll also have screens in the vertical as well. There are a lot of layers physically in this game. Aha! The Batarang. So now we have the Batarang. We can equip the Batarang. And now instead of just punching to the right or the left, we shall throw Batarang. It mysteriously appears back in our hand afterwards, but hey, it's the Spectrum. What do we have here? We have Lockpick. Over here. Now, there's one thing, of course, you'll notice there that when we come back to that, the images of the previous captions hadn't been done. So they're not stored in memory. They're just literally, the screen is given this effect. So if we just go into the inventory, we come back again. So you slowly clear away. We're not using the Batmobile in this game. That's a shame. That's a bomb. It's a red herring, I believe, or I've not worked out what to do with it yet. So we should just leave that here. Go back out into the screen. The games people play. SFX, who of course are the coding team, but we're also given the handy cartoon caption of way out. So this takes us out of the Batcave, which is sort of warm-up section, get a hang of the controls, see what everything is doing, and get used to the game. And that's it really. You go out, you find things, you use objects. Pretty much what you would see in most other adventures. So you think of the likes of Dizzy as a good example here. It's the same idea. Wanted, Joker. Well, that's going to be in our next adventure. So we're now out in Gotham City. So the Batcave has a direct connection to the city. Bless them. And we've got some henchmen, so far away. Now the henchmen don't actually die. You just hurt them enough so they won't hit you for a little bit, or we can go down, or we can give a kick away. There we go. Now we've got a ladder there, so we can climb up to the roof of the building and be old broody Batman. We'll do that in a second, actually. Okay, sweet. Duck out of the way of the bullets if you can. And close enough to do some melee combat. Thank you very much. Didn't duck fast enough. Into the shins. There we go. Thank you very much. I've got a shoe. Who throws a shoe? Right. Shall head back up to the top. Down to the roof line of Gotham. Look all moody. I'm Batman. I'm moody. I'm Batman, I'm moody, and I have a rope. Hey, hey, hey. Just in case, because I don't trust you. Take your pick. I wonder what I'm meant to do with this door. Yes, why not? So, to use an object, you go into your inventory menu, you select it with the back cursor. There isn't a bit of text that reminds you what that thing is. You have to remember what the actual icon picture is, and that's probably one of the things that I would like to change in the game. It would be really nice just to be reminded what you've picked up there. You know, this is obviously a shoe. This is a spanner. This is a batarang. This was the sweet. Really? Okay. And we sold 5% of the adventure. Right then. So, let's take our lockpick, the use icon, and now we can go through the door. Now, I know that this is Penguin's warehouse. If you didn't know, we've got some clockwork penguins just to help you get through as well. Right, everybody, I'm just going to go into the inventory screen. Which, no, I've accidentally went through the door. Ah! Yeah! Yes, it may be an adventure, but there's a lot of violence going on. Cartoon violence, that is. You're just knocking penguins out the way. But violence nonetheless. So I'm going to blatantly cheat here and go for a map, which is in the other screen just to help me through here, because we're back into Spectrum in 1988 for this game, and if there's by that point everybody realizes that people with Spectrum games really like to make their maps, and of course those maps can then be posted up to your favorite Sinclair magazines, or Sinclair user if you didn't have any taste. And that would allow you to, you know, get a badge. I must get some badges made up. Would you like some badges for hints and tips? Let me know in the comments. Right, so we're just going to work through here. Just keep running away. Oh, I've got something. What have I got? It's the lift key. It's almost like I've done this bit of the adventure before. Ain't got it, guys. Lift key. Oh, just missed it. Okay. You now have the lift keys. But if we go back to the adventure screen here, you'll see time is running out. I'm going to be much faster in this game. So basically, you know, no talking to a Twitch stream while you're playing. Damage is going down. The health is going down. We can take our suite and just boost them up. And so you can tell from here that quite a fair bit of this game is being accurate with your giving out damage and attacking the enemy. So you get them out of the way and you just don't get paused and take damage. Like I am there with just a ridiculous amount of bat damage going on. Right, I am going to have a sneaky look at the map, because I've already lost where I am in the game. Isn't that typical? Okay, so we're in some sort of little cul-de-sac there. And we are at the lift, which is earlier why we had the lift key, because that opens up the next part of the warehouse. So it's not particularly intuitive here, but we select the lift key, we use it, and you just appear. There's no animation there. It just runs through. Now, okay, so that puts me there. Okay, I still am not quite sure where I'm going. I suspect it's through this door. Yes. Through this door in the warehouse. There we go. Dead end. Thanks, guys. Oh, really? That tiny... You know, I've got a little bit of... Yeah, we're nearly out of food. I didn't go further along to get the fizzy drink. So this is not going to be a successful game of Batman. He's going to die. He's not going to save Gotham. Sorry about that, everybody. Your hero is no longer a hero. He's just a billionaire who's bought some armor and can throw a bat-shaped frisbee around. Oh, we have a game disc though. So remember the games people play clue that we had back in the Batcave? Yep, that's what that's for. And you can probably work out at this point why you really need a map, because it does get a little bit, where am I going? What's going on? Where's the tea? And I get my alarm of your health is dropping. I have an egg. Well, that's going to help a little bit. In fact, I'm nearly out, so let's just use the egg. Guys, I'd like you to get out of the way. Unfortunately, what I didn't get was the dart. But we'll use the rope just to show you this little section here. So you can climb up the two halves. We have a magnet, and what I've not found in the warehouse is a dart to throw the dart at the dartboard. But there we go. That there is Batman the Caped Crusader. It is a huge sprawling adventure game. It is a bit of action and fighting in there as well. When you compare it to stuff like your Target Renegades and your Golden Axes that were on the Spectrum at the time, it's you don't have the up and down level that you would say with something like Golden Axe, but you do have a solid enough combat system to help you get through the game. Master that, you can go through faster. Map it out, you can know where you are. Your objects are all laid out for you to sort it through. In this game, you've got to go out and rescue Robin from the Penguin's mansion. In the second game on the other side of the cassette, you have a fate worse than death. I think there's a great big bomb being planted by the Joker that needs to be defused. Or it might be the other way around. You've got to do Batman-like things. Just while we're doing it, can we actually just have Batman die to get the end screen? Why not? I'd like to go down now. There we go. That said, can I remember where the dart was? I think it was sort of into the screen. Sorry, out of the screen. Is it this way? Let's see if we can. Let's just do one of those heroic last minute runs and see if we can find the dart. You never know, we might get lucky. Or we might throw the Batarang the wrong way. So you've been hit, so I can safely pass you. There we go. Aha! And what I know is that is toast. So we're going to take that right now and use that. Grab the dart. See if we can get away back to the office. Was it this way? Can't remember. We'll find out soon enough. Nope, it wasn't this way. It was not this way. So it's, as you can tell, it's very easy just to get completely and utterly lost in the game's map. We're running out of time, we're running out of health and energy, but it's okay. Let's just live with that and give it a go the other way. Run through, run through, run through, run through, run through. Let's see if we can run through. Batarang, of course, obviously helps. Will that take us through? This might be where we want to go with our dart, or it might not. It is. Penguin out the way. Shall we at least be able to show you what you can do here with your objects before the time runs out? So, in front of the dartboard, throw the dart. Hey, dart opens up. What have we got there? We have a pass. Let's use our magnet on the pass, which we can use to get into the mansion, which is the opening to the second part of the map, which is in one of the main buildings of City Hall in Gotham City. That, when you have more time and more energy and have slightly more skill than I manage, is what you're looking for in Batman The Caped Crusader. From Ocean, 1988, and it's a very precise control system in those climbing sections as well. But in terms of when you're fighting combat, what you got to do now is you got to try and get out of the warehouse, all the way back to the Batcave with the game disc. And I suspect. Well, I suspected that before. Let's just give it a fair old country try and see if Batman can make it out of the warehouse. You never know. He might get lucky. My money's on he's not, by the way. This isn't a comic book where Batman always wins. Mind you, it's Batman. Batman doesn't always win in Batman, does he? So we can use the lift key again to send us up. And do our best to remember your way through. As you can see, what is a relatively large, complicated, three-dimensional map in the game. Batman. Fini. There we go. Look, this is a challenging game. It's also a really good game as well. But you're going to need a bit of paper. You're going to need to map it out, or you're going to need to go to one of the websites that allows you to call up the map yourself. And even then, you've still got to get the hang of the combat, work out where all the items go. There is a lot of depth, and this will require a lot of playing to get through. But you do get further every single time. Sometimes then I could only get to the lift, then I could only get to the office. Now I'm halfway out of getting the office back out of the warehouse again, and there is a sense of accomplishment and work out. You throw the dart at the dartboard, which is just a nice little micro reward as you are going along. And then you do it all again, get a little bit further and a little bit further. It is a game that is very sticky, and nowadays you don't have that as much, but in the old days when you bought the cassette, that was the game you were going to play for the month. And I think one of the reasons that I remember this was it was actually two games. You had the adventure with the Penguin on side one. You had the Joker on side two. And I do wonder why we didn't see a third or a fourth title with a Catwoman game or a Joker game, because who have I missed out? the Riddler, or some of the more obscure like Mr. Freeze and I was about to say Tommy Two Tone there. No, not Tommy Two Tone, although that is quite a fun song. I'm thinking of Two Face. You know, there was an option here to make a great big franchise to the same sort of level as Dizzy over multiple platforms. Maybe the franchising got in the way. Maybe something changed because Batman the movie came out and the game rights were locked in with that. I don't know. But there was promise here to go on and make a great big franchise of Batman comic-based adventure games on the Spectrum and also on the other platforms, C64 and Amstrad, that the title came out for as well. It isn't as well known as the 3D one for some reason. Everyone remembers the movie one as well because it was just there and you had a bigger Batman. But it had that same level of exploration and stuff, even though it felt more like you were playing Robocop with a cape. Here, the Caped Crusader really does feel like a Batman game. It has the action and the fighting that you would expect from Batman. It had the devious plots. It had the adventure that you had to work through. Everything that you would expect in a good action adventure game on the Spectrum can be found in Batman the Caped Crusader. Is it worth looking at finding it now? Most definitely. And remember, yeah, it's actually 2 games. Once you've worked out everything, you've got it all down pat, and you go back and you've defeated the Penguin, then the Joker is waiting for you out the other exit in the Batcave when you turn the cassette over. Great value, great game, recommended.